What's up, Miles?
What's up? How are
I'm good. How are you?
you? Good.
So, this is the first interview that we've done. So I'll just start off by asking you a couple questions, and then we'll go from there. Is that good with you?
Cool.
Perfect. So, I just want to start off 2019 season. You suffered a torn Achilles during spring practice. How difficult was that for you to be sidelined for the remainder of that season?
Yeah, it was really tough because I came in the Wake Forest with a turf toe injury. I got surgery on that back in 2018, and I actually tore my Achilles 3 days after I got cleared from that injury. So it was definitely a tough time for me. I really had to battle through that. It was probably one of the hardest things I had to go through. Um,
And, and how do you think dealing with that injury, dealing with adversity, made you a better person not only on the football field but also off the football field?
it really shows me that I can get through anything I put my mind to, and with the help of God, I can conquer it all. I can get through it all.
And for those who don't know, you started your football career at Old Dominion. You redshirted in 2018. During that redshirt year, how did you work on your skills, just being ready to attack the next year?
It was tough because I couldn't walk or drive for like 6 to 8 weeks. I was on a scooter, so that was definitely a challenge. And going up in competition to the ACC, that made it really hard. So I would just go home. When I went home, I would just train with my D line guys and just watch a lot of film. And that's really how I kind of prepared to Wake Forest.
And last year, you finished the season with 24 tackles, 10 and a half tackles for loss, led the team in that category, and 3.5 sacks. You were named first team All ACC by AP. Just the accolades from last season and going off of last season, what are your hopes and goals for next season?
I just want to take my game to another level. Become a better leader first and foremost, and do whatever I can to help my team make an ACC championship. That's obviously the goal. Personal goals, I'd like to make first team again, and then hopefully I can make All American. That's probably my biggest personal goal.
And with some players departing, you're already an upperclassman last season, but how are we going to do that again, take on a leadership role to help out the underclassmen?
I think last year was kind of tough, because I missed the whole 2019 season, and I wasn't even on campus. I was back home in Atlanta, so I kind of missed that camaraderie. So I'm still kind of the new guy when I got back. So it's kind of hard for me to use my voice. But now after having the year I had last year, I feel like I can be more vocal, and guys will respect me, and I can be a bigger leader, a bigger vocal leader.
And it'd be hard not to mention that last year you sacked probably the future number one pick, Trevor Lawrence. So what was going through your mind? Did that give you any confidence going into the remainder of the season?
When that happened, I just I don't know if you saw the celebration. I was just doing a whole bunch of stuff. I couldn't even. That was crazy, on national TV. So many emotions were, going through my head at that time. And after that, I just knew, I was like, okay, I belong here, because there's a little voice in the back of my head, saying if I really belonged here, coming from a lower level school and then, 2 years removed from my last game that I played. So having that set really gave me much needed confidence in myself.
And let's go back to high school days. We know that you started your football career at Old Dominion, but what was that recruiting process like for you? I know everyone's is different. And then what went into that eventual decision to end up transferring to Wake Forest?
Mhm. So in high school, I received a whole lot of lower level schools like FCS, lower level FBS, and all the bigger schools would tell me I was too short. So that kind of fueled my fire a little bit, and a lot. And I've always kept that chip on my shoulder since then. And Old Dominion offered me, I think they were my third offer, but it was like 2 weeks before signing day. University of Iowa calls and give me a scholarship offer. I end up, staying committed to Old Dominion. But after my senior year at Old Dominion, getting hurt, there were just some things that didn't go the way that I hoped, and I think it was just a good change of scenery for me to go ahead to Wake Forest. And, I still love everybody over there. But some things just didn't work out.
And last year when COVID first hit, everyone wasn't complete. I mean, not a shock, but everyone saw it coming kind of. But for you, just being a college athlete, that must have been different for you. I mean, staying around the game of football, just being prepared for what if you had a season in the fall, which you guys did end up having. When COVID first really hit, how did you and your teammates stay around the game of football?
That was tough. That was probably one of the biggest challenges. We had daily Zoom meetings with our position coaches, team meetings. We actually had to do drills on our own, and we had to record ourselves and send it to our coach. So it was really weird. But I was telling everyone from the beginning, like, this season is everyone's success is going to be based on yourself, like how hard you're working while you're in quarantine, by yourself. That's going to be a true testament of how hard worker you are.
And earlier you mentioned Wake Forest winning the ACC as one of your team goals and individual goals for next season. But ACC, a lot of talented football teams in that conference. What do you feel that this Wake Forest football team has to do next year to compete for an ACC championship?
We got to be consistent. First and foremost, we can't have a great week one week and then come back next week flat. You know what I'm saying? We got to win the close games. We got to just, dominate. We got to be physical on the offensive, defensive lines. And, there's talent all around this football team, so I know we can do it. There's no doubt in my mind that we can win the ACC.
And in terms of when you first arrived at Wake Forest, you were the new guy on campus. Was there, whether it was a player or a coach that kind of took you under their wings and kind of showed you the way around and helped you a lot get adjusted to being at Wake Forest?
Yeah, my position coach is obviously Coach Cohen. Obviously did a great job in that. But players-wise, probably Justin Herron, because we were both, seniors, and we were both hurt because we were both working out during practice and stuff in the pit because we injured guys. We lived during practice, so it was always me and him in the weight room. So I spent a lot of time around him. One of our strength coaches, Nick Zanani, he did a great job, taking me under his wing. So probably those two guys had probably the biggest impact on me when I first got here.
And you just mentioned Justin Herron. He was drafted last year by the New England Patriots. Mm-hmm. A ton of players that come from this Wake Forest football program are now succeeding at the next level. How has their success really motivated you and kind of made you realize that one day you have a legit shot in playing in NFL?
Just going against those guys every day in practice, and you just, I don't know, me win some and lose some. That's what, great football teams do, great players do. Justin Herron is a great player, and I'm really happy that I had the pleasure of, knowing him and being able to play alongside him. It was really a great experience.
And obviously the one side that not many, when fans really think about, is the academic side. Wake Forest, is a prestigious university with top-tier academics. Obviously, fans know you as a football player, but they don't see the academic side. So can you just tell them what you're majoring in? Is that a field that you want to go into once your football career comes to an end?
Yeah. So my undergrad at Old Dominion, I got my degree in communications with a minor in sport management. And I came here and I got my master's in liberal studies, actually last December. I just got my degree. And I'm still deciding, my dream would be to work for the NFL, like work in a front office role, whether that's being a scout, player development, or a GM one day. That's really what I want to do one day. Work somewhere in the field of sports.
And obviously, we know end goal NFL. How are you going to take? What are the next steps for you in terms of the NFL? We know this is your seventh season playing college football, correct?
Yeah, it is.
So what are your next steps, and what are you going to take to get to the next level?
I just got to keep working on being consistent. I feel like I think I did pretty good last year, but watching the film, it kind of makes me cringe a little bit. Like I feel like I left a lot of plays out there, and there are a lot of plays that I don't like. So if I can, take what I did last year and build off of that and keep being consistent, I feel like I have a pretty good shot. And just, being the leader that I can be. and just bringing the young guys up and helping to have a great football team, because that, furthers our chances of having more all ACC guys the better we do as a team. So.
And Miles, we know this past season, things were not normal in terms of like fans being at the stadium, in terms of activities that you could do outside of football. But in a normal football season, obviously we know that you were injured in 2019, but just being on like the sidelines, can you take us through what a typical game day is like for you, and how important fans are to this Wake Forest football team?
No, fans are extremely important. Being on the field and just having fake crowd noise, but then seeing a whole lot of empty seats in the stands, that was really weird. But I can't wait to have fans back this year. Having the stadium roaring after a big play, it gives you chills. I love that.
And Miles, can you talk a little bit about your relationship with Dave Clawson and how that's kind of developed over your time at Wake Forest?
Dave Clawson, he's a great coach. He really knows the game of football, and he helps out, wherever he can. But on a personal level, we chop it up all the time. He always jokes about my age. And he walks in with a sore knee. He's, I feel like you, when I get your age, stuff like that. He's funny. He's a jokester. I love him.
And when you first started playing college football, was there a moment, whether it was a practice or a game, that made you realize that, wow, these are legit D1 football players I'm going up against?
Oh, yeah, all the time. My freshman year at Old Dominion, even last year, lining up across from, Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne, I just get that feeling all the time, seeing guys that I used to watch on TV, I still watch on TV, playing against them is still surreal. It's like, wow, I'm here, that feeling really never went away from me.
And whether it be a family member, a coach, another player, who's been the most influential person in your life?
Definitely my parents. Well, my whole family, honestly, my brother and sister and my parents. My brother, he motivates me like no other. He has autism, so he can't necessarily, do the things that I can do. So that really motivates me to, to do my best in everything that I do, because he can't, So my mom has always been a motivator for me. My dad, my dad used to play football at University of Tennessee Chattanooga. He played corner, so he knows what it's like to, he knows how college football is and everything. So he kind of showed me the ropes when I first got to school. So, and of course my sister, they always come to all of my games. So, I just love having them by my side.
And one thing that comes with being an NFL athlete is the type of platform that you now have. You just mentioned your brother has autism. Is that something you want to raise awareness for? Are there any other issues that you want to raise awareness for when you have a bigger platform?
Definitely. I'm actually in the process of writing a children's book that's kind of centered around my younger brother and him dealing with autism. It's in the works, so hopefully I can get that published sometime during the season or before the season.
And the last question, Miles, hypothetical question, if you could be trained by one player currently in the NFL or someone who's retired, who would it be and why?
Definitely Aaron Donald. Because we're both, undersized defensive tackles, and I just want to see what he does to be so dominant in the NFL. I try to model my game after him, and it's just so hard because he's just like a surreal talent. It's the best way I can explain it, but that's definitely who I would pick.
Perfect. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Miles Fox of the Wake Forest football team. Really appreciate your time and insight, and wishing you the best of luck in the upcoming season. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Have a good day.